Throughout history, assassinations have altered the course of nations, ended powerful reigns, and reshaped global politics. From the betrayal of Julius Caesar to the shocking assassination of John F. Kennedy, these events have left lasting impacts on society. Some were acts of revenge, others were political power plays, and a few remain surrounded by mystery and conspiracy theories. Leaders who once held immense power were suddenly gone, leaving behind chaos and uncertainty. Their deaths changed governments, ended revolutions, and even started wars. These assassinations were not just isolated events. They reshaped the world in ways still felt today. In this video, we will explore the assassinations that changed history, how they happened, why they happened, and the consequences that followed. Stay with us as we uncover the hidden stories behind these historic killings. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into history's most pivotal moments. 1. Julius Caesar, the murder that ended the Roman Republic. On March 15, 44 BC, Julius Caesar, the ruler of Rome, was assassinated by a group of senators who feared he was becoming a dictator. Led by Brutus and Cassius, the conspirators stabbed Caesar 23 times in the Senate chamber. His murder sent shockwaves through Rome, leading to civil wars that ultimately destroyed the Roman Republic. Instead of restoring democracy, the assassination paved the way for the Roman Empire under Augustus. The famous phrase, "Et tu, Brute," symbolizes the ultimate betrayal in history. Rome was never the same after Caesar's death, as power shifted into the hands of a single ruler. His assassination is one of the most famous in history and has been retold in plays, books, and films for centuries. 2. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the spark that ignited World War I. On June 28, 1914, a Serbian nationalist named Gavrilo Princip assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in Sarajevo. The murder set off a chain reaction, leading to World War I, one of the deadliest conflicts in history. European nations, bound by alliances, were drawn into the war, causing the deaths of millions. The assassination shattered the stability of Europe and led to the downfall of empires. Even today, historians debate whether the war could have been avoided if Franz Ferdinand had lived. His assassination remains one of the most consequential in modern history. Without this event, the 20th century may have taken a completely different path. 3. Abraham Lincoln. A nation mourns the loss of a leader. On April 14, 1865, just days after the Civil War ended, President Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head by actor John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater. Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, believed he was avenging the South. Lincoln's death plunged the nation into grief and altered the course of Reconstruction. His assassination led to more turmoil in the South and delayed efforts to heal the country. Had Lincoln lived, the post-war era might have taken a very different path. His leadership was crucial in uniting a divided nation, and his loss was deeply felt. His assassination changed American history and left behind a legacy of what could have been. 4. Mahatma Gandhi. The assassination of a peaceful revolutionary. On January 30, 1948, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu extremist who opposed his nonviolent approach to uniting India. Gandhi had led India to independence from British rule, but his calls for religious harmony angered some factions. His assassination shocked the world and left India without its greatest moral leader. Despite his death, Gandhi's principles of nonviolence and civil disobedience continue to inspire global movements for peace and justice. His assassination was a tragic end to a life dedicated to peaceful resistance. Even today, his legacy is remembered as one of the greatest in history. 5. John F. Kennedy, the shot that changed America. On November 22, 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated while riding in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas. Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested for the murder, but conspiracy theories about the true culprits persist to this day. Kennedy's death had a profound impact on American politics and culture, cutting short his vision for civil rights and space exploration. The nation was left in shock, and his assassination remains one of the most debated events in modern history. Many believe that had he lived, the U.S. would have taken a different course. His assassination changed the world and continues to spark investigations and theories. The impact of these assassinations extends far beyond the individuals who were killed. Each event sent ripples through history, affecting governments, movements, and entire nations. Some led to wars, while others ignited revolutions or inspired future generations. Assassinations have been used as a tool for power, revenge, and political control, but they have also shown the resilience of ideas and the continued fight for justice. The deaths of these leaders left voids that were impossible to fill, forever changing the paths of nations. In some cases, their legacies became even stronger after their deaths, inspiring movements that lasted for generations. Assassinations remind us of how fragile leadership and influence can be, proving that a single act can reshape history in ways no one can predict. 6. Martin Luther King Jr., the death of a civil rights icon. On April 4, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, by James Earl Ray. King had dedicated his life to the fight for racial equality through nonviolent resistance. His assassination sent shockwaves through the United States, leading to nationwide riots and intensifying the civil rights movement. Despite his death, his message of justice, peace, and equality continued to inspire people around the world. His assassination highlighted the deep racial divisions in America and the dangers faced by those who challenge oppression. The loss of King was a devastating blow to the movement, but his legacy lives on in the fight for justice. Even today, his speeches and teachings continue to inspire new generations. 7. Robert F. Kennedy, the tragic end of a political dream. Just 2 months after Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, Senator Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed on June 5, 1968, in Los Angeles. He had just won the California Democratic primary and was seen as a leading candidate for president. His assassination by Serkan Serkan, a Palestinian extremist, shattered the hopes of millions who saw him as the future of progressive politics. Robert Kennedy was a strong advocate for civil rights, social justice, and ending the Vietnam War. His death left the country in mourning, reinforcing the sense of political instability in the 1960s. Many believe that if he had lived, he could have led America in a completely different direction. His assassination remains one of the greatest what-ifs in U.S. political history. 8. Benazir Bhutto, a leader silenced by violence. On December 27, 2007, Pakistan's first female Prime Minister, Benazir Bhutto, was assassinated during a public rally in Rawalpindi. A suicide bomber and gunman attacked her convoy, ending the life of one of Pakistan's most influential leaders. Bhutto had returned from exile to lead her country once again, but her assassination threw Pakistan into chaos. Many believe she was targeted because of her opposition to extremism and her fight for democracy. Her death exposed the deep political instability in Pakistan and the dangers faced by reformist leaders. Even in death, she remains a symbol of resilience and hope for democracy. The circumstances of her assassination remain controversial, fueling conspiracy theories and ongoing political tensions. 9. Yitzhak Rabin, the peace process destroyed. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated on November 4, 1995, by an Israeli extremist who opposed his peace efforts with Palestine. Rabin had signed the Oslo Accords, an agreement that aimed to bring peace between Israelis and Palestinians. His murder shocked Israel and the world, derailing the peace process and deepening tensions in the Middle East. Many believe that his assassination set back the possibility of peace by decades. His death was not just a personal loss, but a devastating blow to diplomatic efforts. The assassination of Rabin remains one of the most tragic moments in modern Middle Eastern history. His absence left a void that no leader has been able to fill. 10. Malcolm X, a revolutionary silenced. On February 21, 1965, Malcolm X, a powerful and controversial leader in the fight for black empowerment, was assassinated in New York City. As a former member of the Nation of Islam, he had become one of the most vocal advocates for black self-determination. His assassination, carried out by 3 gunmen, was believed to be the result of internal conflicts within the movement. His death robbed the world of a strong, fearless voice against racial injustice. Despite his assassination, Malcolm's ideas continued to influence social and political movements worldwide. His legacy remains as powerful as ever, inspiring those who fight against oppression and inequality. The circumstances surrounding his death remain a topic of debate, with many believing he was silenced for challenging the system. Which of these assassinations do you think had the most profound impact on history? Are there others that should be remembered for their significance? Let us know in the comments below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating deep dives into history's most pivotal moments.